Volunteering is a big part of what makes Materials for the Arts a success. And whether you're joining us from a group or as an individual, we thank you so much for your volunteering. Although you can't join us now, we've created this special video to guide you through the art installation of our artist in residence, Tijay Mohammed.
So the show itself, it's called Phase 2, See Something, Say Something.
Well, we look at this massive MetroCard installation here.
Yeah, so what we are looking at is a collection of, mapping the whole city. During this process, I had to travel the whole subway lines. There are some certain artworks that exist only because the artist wants them to exist. Mm-hmm. But they would, when you take out the aesthetic meaning of it, it would just be an object. So this object brings an experience. This experience is what I'm looking at. We are humans, we change based on time, and the objects are collected. Some of them have even dates on it, recording the moment of time. And also, like the advertisement behind them show you the seasons that we are in, because you would meet some of the MetroCards that would have an advertising for a winter show. And behind the MetroCard machine, the vending machine, that is where you find old ones.
That's the good stuff?
That's the good stuff,
the
yeah.
Faded ones.
The faded ones. Some would have like maybe torn. And some of them you could tell this is like trembled from anger of the subway riders. Imagine you wake up, there's going to be price change, but you get to the MetroCard not knowing that you have enough money and you swipe and it's not working. You miss a train and people miss moment of birth where they have to go and witness, their babies being born. And all of this happened because of just one swipe. But the repetition, I read it based on spirituality and also, like selling. Where I'm born, like I was born in Ghana, and in the market, you would see somebody selling like onion. It would be a repetition of this onion being arranged, or selling a can of tomato or milk. This idea of repetition and, assembling, acknowledge that effort by everyday people.
Wow, that's also an interesting, almost like a historical artifact. Mm-hmm. So much in there. So.
Yeah. Object holds the history of a people, and like I would mention in other pieces about the history of like black and colored people, and referencing New York, the challenges that we are facing, the current climate of the city. It's all part of it. Yeah.
So now, I know that you were proud to be chosen as one of the main muralists of New York City's Black Lives Matter mural that was like in Foley Square.
Yeah, this piece here is related to that. It reads black. So talking about the materials, there is like glitter glue. And lately I stopped using like the glitter itself and moved into only like the glue aspect because I'm thinking about the environment and what it does when the glitter goes into like the sea and the fish eat it, and all this idea of saving the environment. But I'm reading words as a sculpture piece, where words and letters become objects and they have shadows. But when it says black, but it's painted in color, the only black you see is somewhere around the letter C, which is when I wanted to mimic the flag of the Black by Marcus Garvey. So it's not only about being black or having the color black or living the American experience, but it's also sharing this moment where black or minorities have limited access, or there were commodities and were bought. And this is not happening now. It started like way back. But it's very sad that as time evolved, this old mentality, like we would say colo mentality, is still existing, which is pathetic. Yeah, each letter in this piece holds a different meaning and aesthetic. So the letter K, in the color Pantone, it's black. like when you're naming black in colors or in graphics, yeah, just the letter K represent black. So here is black freedom. This is the ladder of depth. The symbols are Dinkra symbols from Ghana, and my work deals with layers of history from personal to community. This represents freedom. This is beauty. So it's like black beauty, black freedom. These ones here also have the idea of the kente fabric. Mm-hmm. And the kente fabric and Adinkra symbols are celebrating their 400-year history in Africa as well. I'm thinking about it in a different context, but at the same time, it's coming from the mural in front of the courthouse to the two materials for the art, where I got the inspiration to do all of this. Coming here for the past few months, although I didn't get the chance to spend the whole time in the studio, but looking at objects and materials from everywhere, random materials, all are part of the inspiration. And as we transition from the Black Lives Matter coming into this piece, talking about a history of something happening in Africa. I was born in Ghana. I started working in Ghana. Most of my pieces I started creating from Ghana, the ones that, criticize like government. There's a little bit of political element involved and collaboration. But this piece here, it's called Anas Armiao Anas, tribute to Ahmed Hussein Swahili. This face is what Anas wears. He wears a mask to cover himself when he goes to the public. When he wears the beads are a representation of royalty, and at the same time, beads are a representation of unity and community strength. So having different objects or particles come together, stitching into one and assembling and using it as a shield becomes, a way of calling for community or group strength. So that's how I'm reading it, but I haven't got the chance to talk to him about it. And using multiple color, it has become a fashion trend.
Great. I mean, the variety of Harvard, Happy New Year.
That's materials for the arts. Awesome. Yeah, today I come in, I get like a motto, like helmet. Next time I have shield. I mean, next time you have Happy New Year. That is what Anas does. You could see him today
really?
Dressed.
He does?
Yeah, he could be dressed himself like a student. The next time you see him, he could dress like a clown. He could dress like a madman. When he did a project exposing what happened in a psychiatric hospital, he was a madman. He dressed like he went undercover like a madman. He was being injected. He did all. Sometimes as a prisoner, he was convicted. He intentionally did a crime. He went to court. They jailed him. He went there. So he's changes. So there are different changes. And that's one of the beauty in working here in the studio materials for the arts. It comes in naturally. I know Anas is changing. I'm thinking about how to represent that change. And I come into the studio in the warehouse. Today I find a helmet which suits perfect for me. And there are times he changes. He dresses as an old person, exposing people like health workers who are selling the PPEs to people outside of the hospital system during this COVID. That's his recent work. Yeah, I like the randomness here when I walk in the warehouse.
Like I just want to put these on and get like a whole group of people that wear them, and or even maybe there's a message to me that like we all have the potential of these heroes that you're describing.
Yeah, the superhero. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to check out this next massive.
Yeah, and that's also about Anas, but that one here, it's you see a lot of eyes. Here I would reference one Ghanaian artist, Nicholas Tijay. He started a project doing portraits of Anas in the city, Accra. He would draw Anas, wearing the hat, and just say, Anas is watching, do the right thing. So here I'm looking at it in the same way, But this piece I started in 2013, and I wasn't able to complete it until this residency here. Yeah, some of the sewing was done in Ghana by tailors from the Kantamanto market, which is one of the largest markets in Accra. It goes round, it's just like a t-shirt. So it represents this huge person, but at the same time, there's a lot of eyes in it. It has see something, say something. So I'm playing with this idea of like the West, the local, and also outside of Ghana. And each one, it's a different t-shirt. So there are different t-shirt fabrics that comes together, stitched together, and then I would later draw the eyes. All these eyes are eyes of people that I know, some from here, from the warehouse. And most of them, I started in Ghana, so I had most of the eyes done in Ghana, where I would go to events in public and ask if they're okay for me to draw just their eyes. And sometimes when I have studio visits, I would also open up and draw more eyes. And the arrangement of the colors, I gave the tailors the freedom to do it because, they are participants and collaborators at the same time. So you have to give them this freedom to be a part of it. And there are times, when I come into the studio, myself, I get frightened sometimes. Just like so many people watching me at the same time. Yeah. A lot of times the material is what changes a little bit, but the concept and process is the same. This is fabric. When you go here, it's hats and beads. When you go further up, it's MetroCard. And then you have the word black, which has symbols, which have history. And then we would walk into another piece to talk about that.
I'd love to look at this last piece here in the show.
Yeah, she's the last one, just sleeping, resting, but at the same time, she's the first because we all come through the world from sleeping. And these are all found stuff. This is my daughter. Yeah, when she was less than a month, about maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, and this is all her stuff. I'm just trying to archive it for her. And when you look at the color, has a change slowly. It looks like she's sleeping and breathing at the same time. And the original installation would be a lot of babies. It's not only one. Yeah, this is part of the experiment, and then it worked, and I added it to the show. But I've collected a lot of baby photos, and I'm still collecting babies sleeping, but less than a month, or maybe a little after a month. I'm going to create an installation with a video of the climate, like climate change. So all these babies are going to be in a dark room with the lights changing, and then the screen would have like the image of how bad the environment is becoming when these kids wake up or, become adults. What would they meet? What are we going to leave for them? What kind of legacies are we leaving for them? How do we want to be remembered? Or how do we want them to remember us? Like, what are the leftovers that we left for them? We are going to fade away. Yeah.
So this is what it's all about. This is the meaning of all this other work.
Yeah, this is the meaning
This is where we begin in the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
More like working at materials for the outside. You're being placed in a place to reincarnate these objects, have them find another life. And these are all found objects. Here we are reusing it to create another life. Art has been a leading god in changing the world and putting it in a place where it's supposed to be. And I would like to end with a quote by Nelson Mandela, that it is in your own hands to make the world a better place for all who live in it.
Thanks, TJ.
Thank you.
All right.